Center is at a turning point today. We have, for three, I should say probably 4+ years, looking for a new home. But today, empowered by your generosity, we are making it happen. We are making it happen. And, you know, in thinking about the impact of your generosity in our community, what I'm really clear on is that we stand on the shoulders of so many people in the last 17 years who have come to our center and participated and generously gave out and served us and led us. So I just want to take a moment and allow anyone who's been around for a while to just shout out names to show gratitude for people who have been with us and for whatever reason they've made their transition or they've moved or they simply aren't here. To just show our gratitude. Let's count out some names of folks that are no longer here, but to just show our gratitude.
Rev Sarah.
That's
Adam, Mary Rice. Jenna
Mary O'Hara.
Rev T. Bill Dees. Guy Williams.
all these people, many of them who you mentioned are out there leading other communities. So let's acknowledge all the folks that have come before us. All the folks. You know, in Asia, there's a seed, a bamboo seed, that is buried in the soil, and it takes 5 years of watering and caring for this seed to have it break forth. Can you imagine 5 years? Because what's happening in those 5 years is it's creating a deep and full and far-reaching root system. Because here's what happens. After 5 years, it breaks the surface. If it's watered, if it's cared for, it breaks the surface. And in 3 months, it grows 30 feet.
Whoa.
In 3 months. They say you could watch it grow because it's got its root system. It's connected to its nurturing. Well, friends, today we're breaking the surface. Today we're breaking the surface. So I hold in any authentic spiritual community, any activity that goes on, any mundane activities like, I don't know, creating a budget or hiring an employee or people volunteering, it all needs first to be seen in a spiritual context, that in spiritual community, all activities lead first to a greater experience of the divine, an experience where we move through our limitations into a greater sense of who we are on the planet as spirit moving through us. Only secondary is the budget, is the hiring of the employee, is the service that the volunteer gives. But first and foremost, all things in spiritual community are to be seen as us opening more to the fullness of the divine. And it's the same thing with searching for our new home, creating a new home. As we've run this campaign, this Journey Home campaign for 3 months, what I've asked you to do, first and foremost, is to journey within yourself, to come home to yourself, to bring within yourself the experience of light and beauty to those places that are dark and shut off. That's the first charge. That's the first call. To bring light to any place within us that's shut off or dark. And only as we do that, then we manifest a new home for San Diego and for ourselves. So I have to just share with you this journey in the last 3 or 4 months for myself. I will admit I've come up with some fear. I've moved to some places in my own self where I felt a lack of support, and I've consciously brought the light there. And I am feeling so humbled by the generosity of our community. We have a pretty high number already that we've raised. I've been sworn to secrecy. I cannot share that number with you. But we have the generosity of you. As I shared earlier, we asked 13 people to step up in leadership positions. 13 people said yes to me through this campaign. We had many, many volunteers. We had like 97% of you come to one of our Journey Home meetings. We had many of you coming to our consciousness raising groups. I've been humbled and inspired and have felt so supported by your generosity. I'm so grateful. Thank you. So we stand, I've been thinking of this idea of a threshold. That really we stand at a threshold. Our community stands at a threshold because we're manifesting a new home. But also you in your individual lives, I'd like you to look at what threshold are you in right now? And it might be the manifestation of our new home, but is there something in your life, a personal newness that's happening, a personal breaking forth that's happening? So just imagine standing before your threshold of the good that's happening within our community and the good in your own individual life. So the image I have is us standing at the threshold, right? Kind of in between. In between what has been and what will be. So imagine you're standing on your threshold and your newness is going to happen, whatever that is. And you look back to what's been, to what's happened, right? And you look back and something catches your attention. And you're looking at that person maybe that you broke up with. Who are they dating now? Who are they with? What's going on in their life? The more you and I look back to what's been, right? The less available we are for what's in our future. So anytime we stand at a threshold, anytime we stand in the possibility of newness, it's important to pause and to release our attachment to the past. Because if we don't, we'll simply repeat the past. We'll simply repeat the past. So I charge you on this day in which Universal Spirit Center stands on its threshold, and as you stand in your individual thresholds, to pause and to make certain there's nothing about the past that you're attached to, so that you don't simply repeat the past. Does that make sense? So we're going to do a ritual. And the first part of the ritual is releasing the past. And there's 3 steps in releasing the past. So I'd like you to maybe think of a person or a situation, an institution, maybe a God, maybe a way of being. There might still be some attachment to. So when we want to release an individual or a situation on the past, first thing we do is we acknowledge that situation or that person. And then we pause and we just give thanks for who they had been in our life. For how at one point the situation or the institution or the person did serve us. And so we pause, we acknowledge, and we give thanks. We give thanks for the ways that in the past we had been served. by that which is in the past. And the second thing we do is we forgive that situation, that institution, that God, or that person for leaving, for making us leave, for whatever it was that we outgrew in that relationship, or whatever it was that they outgrew. So we send forgiveness for them. And then a very important part, we forgive ourselves for maybe being the one who left, for maybe outgrowing that situation or that relationship. And then the third thing we do is we bless them right where they are. We just send them positive energy, and we let them be on their spiritual path or in their process. Let's take a breath here. Let's take another breath, and on the out breath, just make a sound with your voice. In breath. Another deep, full in breath. Another deep, full in breath. All right, so we're going to move into our sacred ceremony. And here's what it's going to be. You know, as Jesus said, if we have a gift for the altar, if we have a gift to give out, that we first pause and we make amends, right? We ask forgiveness. So that's the part we're going to do at the beginning. I'm going to take us through a process where either individually and or as community, we can acknowledge, thank, forgive, and bless those things of the past that we're ready to release. And then when we're done with that, I'll invite us to take a couple deep, full cleansing breaths. And then what we're going to do is, in a circular fashion, this way, in a circular fashion, those of you who have filled out a Journey Home card, which is in your program, and we've been passing them out the last month, you're invited to come down this way. I got the direction right, Lee? This way. And it's two reasons. One, just organizationally, it's going to be great flow. I mean, it helps logistically. But the second thing it does is it's just an energy we create. It's clockwise energy. So we're just creating an energy, a circular pattern. So you're invited to come, bring your candle, light your candle, bring it, place your candle on this altar that Lee and Lee created, and then take your gift and put it in this home, in this new home. And then you return to your seats. Which way do you return to your seats? This way. Yeah, good. I kept saying the other way. And Lee's like, no, it's the other way. Okay, so it's this way. Yeah. So then Amy is going to lead us in a chant. So here's what I am inviting you to do. Participate in the process. If you have let the office know, which many of you have, what your gift is, still fill out a card. Even with just your name on it. We have your amount. But, so that's one thing I want to say. In terms of giving the money or the check, August is for that. You don't have to worry about giving anything but your card today. Would you raise your hand if you need a pen or a card or a candle? And we have volunteers that are coming to give you cards or pens or candles. And while they're doing that, in your program is also a flyer with directions to the marina where we're having our champagne lunch and we're having the announcement of the number. Okay, great. So any questions did I cover everything, Lee? Karini, did I cover everything? Okay. So let's make sure everyone is equipped with a candle, with a card. The card's over here. We need some cards over here. And pens. Kevin over there. We have some more volunteers helping with the cards and the pens so that we can make sure everyone has what is needed. So Linda, will you come up here because we're going to start our prayer. And then for those who turned in cards last week or contacted the office, I'm going to be turning their cards in beginning. Okay, do we have everything passed out? Everyone has a pen or a card or a candle.
There are also cards and pens in the back, so if you just walk.
There are also cards and pins in the back, so as you circle around, you can get one. Okay, can you dim the lights, please, Ron? Okay, so I'm going to have you all to just sit up straight and tall. Your spine straight. Hope the flow. If you want to just for a moment place your hands over your heart. Just a couple deep, full breaths in. And imagine that you're on in a threshold. That there's this great good before you. You may not know where it is. You may know, you may not. But this great good before you. And behind you is all that you've outgrown. All that was necessary to leave. So I ask you just briefly, in your mind's eye, turn around and look at the past. And is there any situation or person or belief that rises up? So go ahead and give thanks. See that person or that belief or that situation. Acknowledge it as being part of your past. And give thanks. Give thanks for how they served you, how that thought served you, how that situation served you. Just send gratitude right now. Maybe just move your hands out from your heart now. Just sending gratitude. And for anything that needs to be forgiven right now, just forgive. Forgive the person or the belief or the situation. Just send an experience of forgiveness all through your past. All through your past. Now place your hands once more on over your heart and forgive yourself. Maybe forgive yourself for leaving. Maybe for your reaction when you were left. Maybe for that belief that you feel you bought into a little too long. Just forgive yourself. Bring compassion right into your experience right now, right here, right now. The compassion of God, right where you sit. And we just bless our past. We bless the individuals, the situations, the beliefs, the God. We send a blessing to all of those things that brought us to this threshold, here, now. So we take a deep breath in. Let's face front again in our mind's eye to what's before us, that great good. We just breathe in. We see in front of us the warm, radiant light of the divine. We feel it on our skin, on our face. It warms us and inspires us. It calls us forth. And so in gratitude for our lives, in gratitude for this center, I invite you to place your generosity on our altar.